Who is it? Perfect. Come in. So this is the one who's been causing your men so much trouble at the border. Did they behave themselves on the way here? I thought they would have had more fight than that. I'm almost disappointed. Never mind. In that case, I ask that you leave us alone for the rest of the night. I'll have one of the servants show them to their new quarters tomorrow morning. Hurt me? Why would I worry about that? Look at them, Captain. They're shackled so thoroughly that I'm surprised they were able to make it up the stairs. I doubt they'll be able to hurt me. Which reminds me. The key, please. The key to their restraints. I'd like you to give it to me. Captain, did you search them for weapons when you caught them? Then do you think they might have picked one up during the journey here? Perhaps they somehow managed to take a knife from one of your men, or even a stone from the side of the road when you weren't looking. Then, unless you expect them to produce a knife from mid-air, you don't need to worry. Even if they were armed, I doubt they'd have the strength to do any lasting harm to me. Look at them. You drove them so hard on the march back that I'm impressed they're still able to stand. I'm not disparaging your methods for transporting prisoners, Captain. I'm just saying that you don't need to be so cautious. If I'm wrong, and they manage to hurt me, you have my full permission to do whatever you'd like with them after. Is that satisfactory? Good. Then the key, please. Thank you. You're dismissed, Captain. Go and freshen up. You've been working hard these past few months. And remember, I don't want to be disturbed for the rest of the night. "5 years as captain of the guard, he still insists on treating me like I'm made of glass. Honestly, does he really think that you're going to hurt me? Now, there's no need to be so flighty, love. If I wanted to hurt you, I would have had you taken to the dungeon instead of my bedchamber. The fact that you're here, instead of getting your fingernails peeled off, should be proof enough that you're safe with me." "Oh, I hope that didn't scare you. You don't have to worry. We don't make a habit of removing people's fingernails in my castle. We usually just remove fingers." I'm only teasing, love. Don't be so serious. I promise you won't be losing any body parts tonight. No. Stay like that for a bit. It's customary to kneel in front of your queen, after all. Which reminds me, we haven't been formally introduced. I am Queen Elvira Belrose, although I'm sure you already know that, considering you've been sabotaging my men at the border between our kingdoms for months. You know, when the captain told me that someone was leading a peasant revolt at the border, I didn't think much of it. Invading another kingdom leads to a certain amount of resistance. I assumed you'd burn yourselves out within a month, if my men didn't catch you first. So imagine my surprise when you didn't burn yourselves out, or get caught. Imagine my surprise when you actually start causing problems, raiding camps, destroying supply lines, even capturing some of my men. You didn't have any of them killed, though. They were all recovered when your village was captured. That surprised me most of all. I didn't expect the leader of a peasant revolt to be so honorable. Or perhaps you were afraid of what might happen if you killed them. Oh, yes, your village. I did consider burning it to the ground, but I thought it would be better to leave it standing, since the captain sent word that they captured you. I even told him to spare the other members of your group, after he'd separated from their sword hands after all. I think it was a fair trade. It's certainly better than they deserved. You're lucky you interested me. Or I'd have taken much more than that. Their heads, maybe. Or their children. Oh, was that too much for you? That look in your eyes is simply precious. So much righteous indignation. Before you get any ideas, remember, my guards are very protective of me. I know I said I was teasing when I mentioned losing fingers, but if you were to hurt me, you'd be wishing that was the only thing they did to you. You want to know what I'm going to do with you? Well, first of all, I'm going to take a look at you. Even as worn down and scared as you are, you still look positively darling. Cute face, pretty skin, those big eyes. I could eat you up. Yes, I think you'll do quite nicely. Now, why don't we have a drink? You heard me. A drink. It's our first time meeting. I think that's a cause for celebration. I hope you realize what a privilege this is. Very few are allowed to try wine from my personal stock. It's a particular vintage from a village to the far north. I can't get enough of it. Well, don't just stand there gawking. Sit down. There you go. I bet you're glad to be off your feet for a bit, aren't you? Speaking of which... Perfect. What's wrong? Certainly you didn't expect me to sit on the floor. Or would you rather I take the chair and you sit in my lap? I thought so. I wouldn't want to switch anyways. I'm quite comfortable like this. What did I mean earlier? Well, love, it's quite simple. Starting today, you're going to be mine. You see, ever since you started causing trouble for my men, I've been interested in you. The armies in your kingdom are unimpressive, but a tiny group of peasants managed to be a nuisance for months on end. I knew there had to be someone impressive leading them, and I was right. You are impressive, and I want you. I mean exactly what I say. I want you. Running a kingdom can be tiring, and I've been looking for a way to amuse myself for a long time. What better way than turning one of my cleverest opponents into my personal servant? Oh, don't worry. You won't be like the other servants. I don't intend for you to waste yourself cooking and cleaning. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is me. And pleasing me. I suppose servant wasn't the right word to use. You'll be more like my personal toy. No. Oh, you silly little thing. You don't have a choice. I have plenty of ways to make you do what I want. If you really insist on fighting me, then I'll have you hung by your wrists in the dungeon for a few days. No food, no water, nothing but the stone and your own thoughts to pass the time. I'm sure you'll be a bit more agreeable then. And if you're not, I could always send my men back to your village. You don't want me to do that? Then you'd better behave for me, love. Whatever you might have done before, whoever you might miss, even what your name was, none of that matters now. I'm the only thing that matters now. Are those tears? It's okay. You can cry if it makes you feel better. I don't mind. The tears make your eyes sparkle so beautifully. And they taste so sweet on your skin. I know it's a lot to take in, but the sooner you accept it, the better. I promise. I'll take very good care of you. Now, finish the rest of your wine. I made sure the servants had a bath drawn for your arrival. The water should be cool enough now, so once you're done drinking, I'll help you get clean. Wouldn't you like that?